So, our new camera's here, and it's in this bag. But we should probably rewind and unbox it first. So, as you saw, this is the XS-20. It is a small, mid-range APS-C size camera. And we got it to replace our XT-20, which has now been sold. So, first impressions, I want to say it's very light, almost to the point that it feels like a toy. Got a little pinky hang off of it. So it is very small, especially in comparison to the larger cameras that we usually work with. For example, this is it next to a Canon R6. Now granted, the R6 does have a cage on it. It's a small rig cage, but doesn't add too much bulk to it, so you can see the size difference. So first thing I want to say is that this camera is not going to be our primary professional use camera. We're going to stick to the R5 and the R6 and the R7 for that. What this is going to be is my little savior whenever I don't feel like editing and want to produce some content. So primary function is going to be a content creation camera, a quick turnaround camera. Initial impressions, like I said, it's very lightweight, especially with this 18 to 55 lens on here. I would say it's a plastic body, not too sure on that, but that's what it feels to be. EVF is fairly small. It leaves some to be desired. But all in all, it is an upgrade from the XT-20. So the thing I'm most excited for are the film simulations, and I'm going to plug some of those in right here. We've already messed it around with the Fuji X Weekly recipes. I've used a bronze bleach bypass and Vibrant Arizona, which is a classic chrome. We haven't messed around with the F-Log on it yet, but it does do 10-bit 422 in F-Log, and from everything I've seen, it looks pretty good. In-body image stabilization works great. Significant improvement from, the XT-20, which didn't have any, and it seems to work pretty well in unison with the image stabilization on the lens. It has a interesting vlog mode, which I do believe puts you in auto, so I don't know that that's going to get used much for us. We will probably be shooting in H.264 with one of the film simulations applied, or in F-Log 2 primarily on this. So I know I'm kind of backtracking here a little bit, but if there's a need for shooting F-Log and getting that extra dynamic range, I am going to utilize it. So it is one card slot, and that is right there. It does take UHS-IIs. So that's a welcome upgrade. And more notably, it takes the new batteries. So we already got ahead of the curve and bought some of these small rigs, and I haven't shot on it too much yet. Just basically went outside for a small walk and shot some pictures of my shoes and some pictures of stuff around town. But I will say it has considerably longer battery life than what the XT-20 had. And SIPA rating wise, it's looking like it's about double, almost triple what the XT-20 battery had in it. So now for the little quirks that I'm gonna have to work through. What's nice is there is a direct ISO button on here. So that's, again, an upgrade from the XT-20. I've yet to set this shutter wheel up yet. It will probably be going to aperture because I plan on picking up maybe the Sigma 18-50. This back one is currently set to shutter speed, which is backwards of what I'm used to. The autofocus is significantly faster at grabbing and whatever subject you're looking for. So it does have eye detect. It seems to work fairly well, even in fairly low light situations. And then some of the other things that it picks up on here are planes, trains, automobiles, and animals. So again, coming from an old Fuji camera that didn't have that stuff, it's a lot closer to like shooting on my Canon R5. I will say the flash, pretty much worthless. Even with just this smaller lens on it, it casts shadows, so don't expect too much from it. The tactile functions on all the wheels are good. The shutter sound sucks, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear this here. That is the mechanical shutter, so just as a heads up, it's a little squeaky, kind of makes some noise. I don't know if anyone else cares about that. I do. It doesn't give that shutter shock, I will say that. So, port-wise, what we got here is a micro HDMI and a USB-C. These are on doors, not the funky grommets. There is a mic jack right there. And then a headphone jack on this side. Buttons on the back. You have your little joystick here. And as you notice, there is no control ring, which that's going to take some getting used to for me. There's the display button and the menu buttons right here, as well as the shutter select right there, and your playback button here. These auto exposure lock and autofocus locks are up here as well. What I currently have this dial set to is to change my film simulations, which is kind of a nice benefit actually, because those are things that I use a lot and I like to filter through them pretty quickly just to, you know, depending on the situation. The screen, let's pop her open here. Decent. Nothing's as good as Canon menus, so I'm just going to be real with you. There's absolutely no camera that I've tried, and I've shot on Sony's, I've shot on Lumix, I've shot on Nikons, obviously on Fuji's. I don't think anything touches the Canon menus. Sony's are probably a pretty close second. It is fairly easy to navigate though. So, does have separate video and image quality as well as photo options. You can go in and make adjustments to the different film simulations. Plug Fuji X Weekly here because, first off, where else are you going to go? Second off, if there is anywhere else, they're still the best in the business. One complaint that I do have is it's seeming to have a really hard time picking up the Bluetooth for the Fuji camera remote app. So I've been able to connect to it once. I've probably tried about 10 to 15 times. That is something that the XT20 did pretty seamlessly. So I know that there's a firmware update on this. I cannot seem to get the camera to connect wirelessly to do the update. So we'll check back in on that. As far as image quality, like I said, I've not taken a lot of shots on it, but the ones that I have taken, they're beautiful. So you also get a Q button on here. So that's going to pull up your Q menu, which you have access to, you know, all the goodies on the back of the camera. And then finally, there is a record button. So you can record straight from when you're set in like manual mode, and I do believe that's going to apply whatever film simulation you have selected. It's not going to put you in your selected video settings, like if you're in F-Log 42210-bit or long op. One huge benefit of this camera is it does do 6.7K downsampled, or 6.2K. Let me double check that.
A few moments later.
So, correction on me. But 6.2K open gate. So, what you're going to get out of that is a 3x2 frame. Makes it easier to crop in either horizontally or vertically. So, if you're going to shoot across multiple formats and you're shooting in landscape mode, it's going to make it easier to crop in, retain a lot more information. That is a very welcome aspect for me, because I like to shoot in landscape, not portrait orientation, and then just crop in as needed, just in case I ever want to go back and utilize footage for different projects. So I kind of have like started creating my own stock library, I guess you could say. As for where we ordered it from, we got it from Adorama. The package was pretty beat up on the outside. Inside was fully intact. Adorama has some great rewards programs, so if you're not ordering, you know, directly from a camera manufacturer, I'd recommend them. After ordering my R5, I was able to save $200 off of this, and then the credit applications and all that stuff saved me another 5% with 12% or 12 months interest free financing. So helps build the business credit, you know. Final thoughts. Let's see. It has plenty of dials. It has great tactile. I do wish it was a little bit more robust as far as like the weightiness to it, but that would kind of contradict what I got it for, I guess, which was to be a grab and go documentary style camera, just like the XT20 was for us. So I'm excited to be able to just shoot stuff and not have to worry about throwing it into DaVinci or throwing it into Lightroom or Photoshop and just get it right perfectly in body. You know, we do shoot pretty much everything in RAW or all-eye on the Canons, so it's going to be a welcome addition. It's going to be a great for quick turnarounds for certain clients, and I'm excited to add some lenses to the collection on this. So this is the only lens I've experienced. Let me know if you've shot with other Fuji lenses and what should I upgrade to. I plan on either selling this or trading it in, and I've looked at the Sigma 18-50, I've looked at the Tamron 17-70, I've been really eyeing up the 16-55 Fujifilm, but we may try some primes, we may go whichever direction you guys are thinking and give them a review. So comment below what you guys are thinking about this. Is anyone interested in the XS-20? Has anyone used the XS-10? This is only my second Fujifilm camera, so while I don't have as much experience with these, I do have like a special place in my heart with them. They have still not been relegated to my professional work per se, because the Canons just do so much stuff. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. I'm hoping to maybe do an XH-II S at some point. but that's probably going to be down the road. Now, real quick, I want to give everyone a call to action. If you are a Fujifilm shooter, let me know what camera you shoot on and what you think of it, because the more and more I shoot on Fujifilms, the more I like them. Obviously, we are a Canon company, just because that's primarily what I started with, and I just didn't get out of the ecosystem. But I do like branching out and trying new cameras, especially quirky, fun little ones like this. So if you're shooting XT20s, 30s, 40s, let me know. XT3s, 4s, 5s, or anything, you know, before that, let me know what you guys think about them, how you've experienced them, and I'm going to try to get some more that we can review for you guys. So, if you're liking what you see, if you want more camera reviews, if you want lens reviews, or you just want to kind of hang out with us, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time. Psst, real quick before y'all leave. I do plan on doing a full, in-depth, extensive review of this camera. Not any kind of like technical stuff, but more in-depth than this, because you didn't get to see much out of it. Just know, from my perspective right now, just opening it out of the box probably 2 hours ago, I like it. It's pretty good.